I said earlier, the way that you take that and turn it into, oh, this is my return to Twitter. You can't write a better story than that.
Can I give some thoughts on DeSantis?
Yeah. Please do, sir.
Me, DeSantis, if you looked at how he did, again, alliances, you watch for alliances. Who was shaking whose hand? There was one moment where him and Vivek shook hands. It was uncomfortable looking at DeSantis. I was shaking hands with Vivek. Vivek was right in the middle of the debate when he came up to him. But Chris Christie and DeSantis talked the entire time. Every break, Chris Christie and DeSantis were right next to each other.
Really? Anybody surprised by that? Anybody surprised by that? Trump's biggest hater and the supposed frontrunner who is just dropping the ball at every possible opportunity. I mean, do worse, bro. Do worse. Zig said, Scott had a brief moment where he sounded like MLK. Okay. And 169 says, not at all. I don't remember that one, but, fair enough. Unwanted Foe said, Christie going for VP under DeSantis. Yep. You're right. You're right. Nail on the head. That's where it is. Daniel said, I'm surprised Christie didn't eat him. Ayush said, nope, Christie is Vivek's attack dog for DeSantis. He's his attack dog for DeSantis. In what way? How do you mean? I think I might agree with you, but I'm not sure yet. So tell me a little more.
Big time.
Yeah, DeSantis and Christie.
I mean, constantly, not like once or twice or three times. Constantly, they were talking to each other. And DeSantis was the only one that was coming out to
make up and
be fair with him. He was the only guy that would come up and would wave at the audience, his camp that was sitting on that one side. Yeah, he was constantly talking the entire time. Okay, so I watched. I'm like, okay, that's an interesting alliance. Why would that be an interesting alliance? Here's why. How many times did you hear DeSantis take shots at Trump? None.
Yeah.
The only shot that he took was super indirect. Was about Fauci. First thing I was like, you're fired, right? And okay, that's great. But if we were to count how many times he used the word Trump, I don't know if he ever used it. I'm telling
DeSantis did not.
I don't know if DeSantis said the word Trump one time.
I think that would be a good thing, no? You like the last thing you want to do is bring more attention to the guy who's drawing away literally millions of viewers from your face. So I'm not sure if he's saying it's a good thing or a bad thing.
However, his mouthpiece did, and that's Christie. So whatever DeSantis wanted to say to Trump, my opinion, I could be wrong. Anything DeSantis wanted to say to Trump, Christie said it, not DeSantis. So whatever Christie said,
good call,
is what DeSantis really wanted to say. Again, my thoughts, my opinion, I could be wrong. And DeSantis, for me, he went up there, and it was obvious that he had certain points to give, which he made his points. He gave his speech, the closing speech. You could tell he said that speech multiple times, and it was great. Some people said he came across a little bit angry. Do you have the New York Post article that gave...
Ayush says, Vivek is garnering the non-MAGA voters, which is undercutting DeSantis. DeSantis can't do the attacking to Vivek because he sucks at it. Yep. I knew I agree with you. I just needed to hear it. There you go.
Feedback on every single person. What they were saying. The audience said DeSantis looked angry. Now, for me, I don't mind it.
DeSantis angry? I thought they were talking about Vivek, and still I was confused. But DeSantis didn't seem angry. I thought he seemed a little bit more fired up. But angry is not the word that I would use at all. If anything, it was like, because in general he was subdued and like we said, robotic. I guess he's just an angry robot. Xander Cruz says, after the mugshot, I honestly don't think anyone else can snatch the public support away from Trump. Plus, anyone who gains popularity from the right will be destroyed by the left in the same way. I agree, man. I agree. And the way that, I said earlier, the way that you take that and turn it into, oh, this is my return to Twitter. Like, I mean, you can't write a better story than that. Wantifo said Christie sucks at it too, but at least he doesn't make DeSantis look bad because he's not the one talking. Yeah, I mean, but we have to admit Christie had some good lines in there. He did have some good lines in there. Mountain Mind Media said Ron felt alive at the debate. He just didn't talk enough. Yeah, I felt like he was more of what we wanted, but just not enough. Like, it's still like, give us more. Give me something to grab onto. Give me something to say, okay, you're not going to let us down. All right, great. I mean, that's not enough. David Banner said Trump's mugshot is an album cover. If he drops a hit single, he is back on top. He's already back on top, brother.
That doesn't do anything for me. Like, oh my God, he came back this. Here's a body language expert dissects Republican debate with surprising insights. Can you go a little bit lower to kind of see what he's saying? Okay, angry DeSantis is what he called it. Go to the next one. DeSantis also failed to smile, Navarro said. Okay, keep going.
Except for at the very end when he gave that little goofy smile.
Keep going. Comfortable, Ramaswamy. I thought he looked very comfortable on stage. Haley's strong will, absolutely. Haley, when she went after the abortion, the women, the way she broke down the woman and abortion. Listen, whether you and I as men care anything about that, you see numbers that 67% were against what happened with Supreme Court, and I kind of hurt the red wave that was supposed to happen.
Yeah, but she's not in her prime, right, Don Lemon? She's not in her prime.
What?
Abortion is very, very important for women. She won there, and she kind of called out Vivek in the, the foreign.
Yeah.
You're not ready to be a president because you don't have experience in foreign affairs. Okay, cool. Go to the next one. Let's see what else they say. Friendly Hutchinson, great. Burgum Prop, keep going. What is it? Church Pastor Scott.
He already did lose yourself. I think he said he had like a whole, like he used to do that kind of stuff all the time.
Okay, makes sense.
There you go, Tom McDonald.
What is it? Subdued Pence. I don't know about that. He had a 5-second pause every time he was given an answer. Dude, you got 60 seconds. You're taking 5 seconds to respond. Keep going. Who else you got? At the bottom? Confident Christie. Okay, cool. Fair. I would give that. Keep going. And then Trump card. Okay. So for me, when I watched DeSantis, this is what I thought about. There was a fighter in UFC. His name was Tyron Woodley. Okay.
Oh, Tyron Woodley. Oh, God. Oh, this is going to be, oh, man. I don't even know who's going to talk about, but if you know who Tyron Woodley is, it's not going to be nice to whoever he's talking about. I Am That I Am said clearly too many qualified Indians running for president. Vivek was amazing. I agree. Yeah, we haven't had this many. I mean, 2 is a lot, right? David Banner said DeSantis looked neutered to me. And again, agreed. It is that lack of balls. That's what it is. He just doesn't have the oomph behind what he's saying for it to mean anything to anybody. Xander Cruz says if Vivek is not a World Economic Forum Illuminati puppet, he is by far the best speaker and representative of actual conservatism on the stage. Let's hope. Because like that's what Van and I were talking about when I was on LFR Families, that we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like everything the guy says, I love every word of it. There's got to be something. There's got to be something. It's not Tyrone, it's Tyron Woodley. But Tyrone Woodley does sound like a porn name. And Vivek definitely is a better speaker than Trump. Absolutely, unquestionably. Trump is not a good speaker. Trump is just good at being Trump. Trump is a terrible orator. I did the best things and the best, nobody does the best. And he wanders off on this little thing. He's not a good speaker, but the character that he is big enough to overcome the fact that he is not a good speaker. Dave Banner disagrees, said Vivek is on his lane, but Trump is the daddy to all Republican stooges. And that's different. That's different than saying he's a better speaker. I agree with both these statements, but they're 2 different things. I Am That I Am said Vivek is a 38-year-old self-made billionaire, actually 950 million. I'm sold. Yeah. I mean, makes sense to me.
And when he was coming up at one point, people thought he was going to be Dana White's guy. And I don't know if you remember the fallout between him and Dana. A big fallout between him and Dana. This guy, good-looking guy, incredible body, incredible wrestler.
He got knocked out by
punching. He got every single way. This guy in UFC was the guy. What does he start doing? He starts undermining Dana White publicly.
Mm-hmm.
He starts
Yeah, he went to Woodley went to a press conference, and if not his last fight, one of his last fights in the UFC, went to the press conference, and didn't take off his glasses, had a hat on or whatever, and he just sat there. And every time a reporter would ask a question, he would just say, "Black Lives Matter." You're like, okay, well, you're fighting, let's say it was Colby Covington. And what do you think about his ground game? Black Lives Matter. And he just did that the whole thing. And it's like, bro, what are you doing? And just a lot of stuff that, making more trouble than for himself than he needed to. Yeah, he's that guy.
starts complaining about Dana White publicly. No problem. So you know what he does? Then Dana gives him a main fight. He fights. I don't know who he fights. Afterwards, they're asking Dana, so what'd you think about the fight? He said, what did I think about the fight? What did you think about the fight?
This is a good question. Trump is going to be a Trump. Are we looking for a president, or are we looking for a Trump? I don't know. We might just be looking for a Trump. At least right now. I think we're just looking for a Trump.
The guy's like, I don't know. He says, listen, audience was booing. You mean you just want to come and win a championship with points? This is how you want to win? This will be the last time we'll give him a card like this and da-da-da. Guess what?
Yep.
Woodley disappeared, gone, right? Because he just came to win with points. I think DeSantis came yesterday to win with points. And he hit his points. He got his points knocked out of the...
Okay, but... I thought you were saying something else. So yeah, I am Anderson. Woodley made it to the Cobra Kai series. I think it was Usman that won his belt by beating him 5 out of 5 rounds. Yeah. He took the words right out of my mouth because he was dominant before he wasn't. And then he just dropped the ball and he got, all, he is shaking. What, is it raining? I don't get it. I don't understand why Morty just gets terrified. Anyway, what I thought you were going to say is Usman never did that. And I was going to be like, hey, don't forget that Usman's in Black Panther too. But that's not where you're going. But yeah, demolished and just took his soul.
Way. Do I think he went above and beyond what people were expecting him to do? I don't know if I can say that on what he did. I think Nikki Haley, she was last on my list. She came up and she showed up. Okay. And she brought talking points that others weren't bringing up. So she brought up talking points where she forced us to talk about that. I thought Vivek, when he...
Oh, yeah, I wasn't saying you were joking. I definitely... I binged the fuck out of that show. I love Cobra Kai. That's why I thought you were... I was ready to disagree because I thought you were going to say that, Woodley was in Cobra Kai, but Usman never got on TV. But that's not where you were going, so...
He got up and he said, I'm the only person on stage that can say the fact that I haven't taken any money from Super PAC. Okay. Wait. Hey, I know what you're thinking right now. What would a skinny kid from a name okay. That was when Chris Christie called him out very quickly. Sound like Obama, exactly. And all this other stuff. But Vivek made you think. He sold a dream. He sold America. He sold the future. He sold what's going on. He sold, where we are as a company. You didn't see any of that with, DeSantis. It was a lot.
Yeah. Sanders says Vivek putting his views out unapologetically opens the way for us. Being a minority helps shield him from the left crying racist. It inspires me as a Latino to use my race as a shield to the left one day. Yeah, use it if you got it. We never wanted to play this identity politics game, but they threw down the gauntlet. So don't come at me. I'm not white. Not my problem. White supremacy, I can brush that shit right off.